Welcome to Unleashed. This is a special Unleashed, which we're doing over Skype because exciting things happened on the weekend. And yesterday was Thanksgiving in Canada, and it was a great day to be thankful for if you're a Star Wars fan as well, on top of everything, because we got the poster, which we all thought we were going to get on Sunday. And then after that, we watched the trailer on Monday Night Football, unless you did not have a channel that aired Monday Night Football. But it seemed like it went on the YouTubes, like almost as it was airing on Monday Night Football. Well, if you haven't seen our video on that, you can watch that on the channel. It's fantastic. Brock joins us for that, but Brock is not here for this right now. Right now, we're going to talk about the poster, which is not as big as the trailer, obviously, in a lot of ways, but it's still probably, I mean, it's still very new, very fresh, but it's definitely one of my favorite Star Wars posters to date. It definitely is. It's funny because Andrew and I did a video last week on what to expect from the trailer. Andrew, I'm going to go to you first on this. Did it live up to what you were hoping from?
The poster, yeah, the poster is what I hoped. You're
looking at it right now. That's right.
I am. It's what I wanted, and I was surprised because we were talking about color. We were talking about how Force Awakens poster is one of the most colorful things ever made by human hands. And we were speculating that, we're anxious to see how they do that this time around. We both kind of assumed they would stick to this whole red and white color scheme, but I was not prepared for them to go 100% with that. Like they committed to red and white. And this poster is extremely red and white, which was cool. I was not expecting that. I was expecting more black like normal with, faces, random color. But the red and white, I think it's a ballsy choice. I like it.
And we were just talking about this also, it's funny because way back, I believe in February or early March, if you watch the very, very first Scavenger Scum, the backdrop of that Scavenger Scum actually is just the first piece of marketing that we saw from The Last Jedi, which is Rey, Finn, and Poe. But there's that red that you talk about. And we didn't know then, and we really didn't even know when we got the Star Wars Celebration when we watched the teaser trailer. But the red seems to be a big factor in this because the dark side really seems to be at the forefront. The font is red. Crait, they put the red smoky things down in Crait. Red seems to be what this film is all about, and I am very excited for this film. Obviously, Rob, you I don't know if you've ever said on this show or not, or on this channel, or on social media in general, but you're not a fan of a lot of characters on a poster.
Yeah, we've had over the past summer especially, we've had the really weird and kind of bad posters. Like there was ones like for Spider-Man Homecoming where just all characters, like you want this character and you have two versions of the same character on the poster. They had Transformers was like that as well. But this was the funny thing about this poster for me, because when I saw this poster, was obviously there's a lot of characters on this poster, like a lot of Star Wars posters, but this one just had a way of there was so perfect symmetry in the central in the center of this poster. The way it was nice, you're mentioning the color scheme, the way it is, that just distinguishes it, I think, from a lot of other Star Wars posters. You could take the first 6 episode posters, you could take Force Awakens poster and Rogue One poster, and put all those beside each other, and they look more or less the same, right? They kind of combine. And I'm of course I'm talking about the ones that have the characters on there, but then when you put the Last Jedi poster at the very end of it, that's the one that just seems like it pops because of this color scheme of the red and the white and a little bit of black. I like this poster so much because it is different than the other posters, and it found a way for these character posters with all these characters to sell me on it, to show me that, hey, you could showcase your cast on a poster without it looking like it's clogged and overdone. Did we really need the Washington Monument on the Spider-Man Homecoming poster and stuff like that? But that's what I really like about it. And it's funny that you mentioned, James, that's this is one of the best posters altogether. The funny thing about Last Jedi altogether is that the first 2 posters are possibly my top 5 favorite Star Wars posters altogether. I really love these posters so
it's
far.
funny because when we heard that there was going to be a new poster coming, and we never got it. Andrew was like, "Where is the poster?" You texted me, Andrew, the other on Sunday, or I think it was late Sunday. He said, "Where's the poster?" And I responded with, maybe we're not going to get it because that original poster really harkens back to the original. Well, I don't know if it's how original, but the old school New Hope poster was very, very similar to that. And it's like, and the book, the Last Jedi novelization, that is the cover for it. They announced at New York Comic Con that the cover for the book is the teaser poster. So now we have this poster. What I like about this is the Patronian Guards made an appearance, by the way, Andrew. We did not speculate on that whatsoever. Which really, I got to ask you, Andrew, Patronian Guards, they're on this. The Knights of Ren we heard so much about. Now we're hearing the Knights of Ren might be the Patronian Guards. What do you make of that?
I didn't hear that till right now.
Breaking news.
Spoilers, James.
Yeah,
James.
well,
that's a cool idea. I can get behind that. I mean, we don't even know if they're alive. We don't. I mean, there's so little about them we know. But if the Praetorian Guards are one and the same with the Knights, that'd be kind of cool. You know, they're pulling double duty. Like we've said many times before, the First Order does not run the same way the Empire does, just because it looks an awful lot like it. They are kind of doing things their own way. So maybe these guys are pulling double duty. Who knows?
Rob?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, like you said, the Praetorian Guards on this. I was just actually looking at it because I wanted to see if something else was on this poster that I was expecting to be on the poster when I heard that one was coming out, and no Porgs on the poster. That's kind of surprising to me.
Andrew and I speculated on the Porgs as well. I just sorry to interject here, but I'm 50-50 on the surprise about that, because I think we said that on when we did our show, Andrew, where we could see Porgs being kind of placed in there. But when you look at this poster, Rob, it obviously makes sense why we don't see any Porgs there.
Yeah, for the color scheme, I guess, like mainly altogether, and like this poster just it's fitting with this trailer that just came out, and of course we'll be talking about that later, that the darkness of this movie that they seem to be really highlighting to a degree, and perhaps this poster reflects that in the way that they left out the Porgs, to leave out the Porgs, which will assumingly be comedic content, like for the movie. Just says something about that. And yeah, like the Praetorian Guards, I'm very curious what their role is going to be in the movie, like how much they're going to be in the movie, and in that regard, because it'll be really interesting. I'm ready for this movie to come. I'm literally like Xing out the days on my calendar. It's like when's it coming? This many days left. Can't wait.
Andrew, the one thing we said is we weren't 100% sure if Holdo would be on it. Holdo was not there. Not even in the trailer, if I remember correctly. But we won't get into any of that, obviously. But the one thing that I think I said, I do not see this character appearing on the trailer or on the poster, and they did, is Hux.
Mm-hmm. Hux is there. Yeah. He's there, but he's like, it's almost like a Where's Waldo. Like you really got to zoom in and be like, oh yeah, there's Hux. He's there's so many layers to it, though. And Rob, I think you said the magic word earlier. You said the word symmetry, and that could not be more precise. I mean, they are. If you look from the bottom, you've got a perfect amount of those. You got like 4 of those. I forget what they're called. Those resistance skimmers there on each side, and one coming up from the middle. And that one from the middle, you could really just draw a bisecting line through the whole poster, and on either side of it, you've got symmetry, and it's great. And I think that works with this color scheme too, which is interesting because you have like 2 colors, so 2 sides. It looks good. It looks exactly like how I wanted it to look.
And it's not even as close, but I'm looking at it now, and the thing that this poster has a little bit in common with the Force Awakens poster was that in the Force Awakens poster, there was the one bit of symmetry where there was Kylo Ren with his lightsaber, and then Rey with her staff, and they were like lined up exactly with each other. Now they're a little bit further apart here, but both Rey's and Kylo's lightsabers are kind of in line with each other. They're very parallel as well. So
yeah, you could draw a line from one to the other, and it's perfectly straight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the way it looks as well. So again, like you were talking about the symmetry on there as well. Like even the evil BB-8 or whatever, BB-9E is, if that's what he's called. He's on the opposite side, and then on the other side is BB-8. So like they're even like on each other's side in that way. So
the one thing I really noticed from this is Rose is very bubbly.
Bubbly, yeah. You were mentioning, Andrew, that like Hux kind of like, you look at it and you miss him. That's what I found with Rose too. I had to look a second time and like, oh, that is Rose on the poster.
I immediately saw Rose.
You did?
I think because we did the video and I was like, Rose is on the poster. There's no way Rose is not on the poster. But when I first opened the poster, I swear, I mean, I saw the red was first, and then my eyes were like, Rose, there's Rose. It was almost like I knew where to look for Rose, because I'm pretty sure in that video that's where I said she's going to be. She's going to be kind of turning, and Finn's going to be beside her. And he kind of is. He's a bit bigger, but he is in that Imperial outfit that he fights Phasma in. Obviously, going forward. And like you said, Kylo and Rey side by side. It's looking like they have a possible prominent storyline. Rob?
I know, it's shocking, right? Like, who would have thought that they would be the main characters of this next movie? I thought it was going to be all about Poe and Finn, and they were just going to be on their things. But yeah, you know what? They're the two main characters, more or less, right? Like they were the main story was like the main character arcs along with Finn from Force Awakens, right? They were the main arcs in some type of way, but with those three characters, and just the way that they've with the trailer seem to be coming to a head, and they just along with the trailer have their own arcs within the trailer itself. Just makes me even more excited. Like again, like they're on the two separate sides, and it's funny because I think it might be the only character that is basically on. Oh no, Leia as well. That is on both sides is Luke and Leia as well. Like it's the funny thing about Luke, because it's like what's Luke's role going to be in this movie exactly, and where is he going to side? Obviously, he's going to have his moments with Rey, but.
Andrew, I want to get you the Rey and Kylo thing in 1 second, but I think, when you watch that first trailer, everybody tried to play up Luke is going bad, now we get this one, Luke is not going bad. Luke is exactly what we thought. He has seen things, obviously, and I think where he is in this poster, it's so funny because I looked at this poster and there was a lot of fan posters. There was one fan poster. And you know what? I might give him a shout out on this week's episode of the Rope Scum podcast, or on Facebook if I can. Incredibly similar to what we got here. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Andrew, have you seen it? You're nodding, but like incredibly similar. Yeah, and I think Snoke is on that one, which we speculated. You were like maybe the eyes. No Snoke, big part of the trailer, but yeah, whoever did that, maybe he was hired by Disney or she was hired by Disney, because it's so similar. It's incredible. But but we got this completely different side of Luke. But also, they did a fan poster for The Force Awakens before The Force Awakens came out, I want to say. Or was it unused? Anyway, I'm rambling. But it's Luke Skywalker, exactly the same, basically. Only it was more of his body. I don't know that. But anyway, back to Kylo and Rey. Andrew, what does this poster tell you about them? And did this poster set you up for what you saw in the trailer and what you think you're going to see in the film?
It set me up really well, actually, for what I saw in the trailer. It definitely, if anything, what we saw here in this poster just reinforces what we saw in the last poster, which is that these two characters, it looks good, A. B, I want that staff. C, these two characters' journeys are going to run very parallel with one another. And it's almost like we're looking at the same person with two different upbringings. Like there's that old sort of thing about Venom and Spider-Man, where how Eddie Brock, Venom, he's given the same powers as Peter Parker, but he didn't have Uncle Ben telling him about responsibility. And I feel like that's the same kind of thing we're getting. We're getting two people who are roughly about as powerful, it sounds like. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it sounds like they're on the same playing field, but they are being pulled in different directions by different people. And the result is either a cool person like Rey, who I want to sit down and have a drink with and talk to, and a person like Kylo Ren, who I don't.
I might disagree with you on that one, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. You can watch our trailer video to understand that one. But let's talk about this Crait scene, because obviously this is a huge part of the film. And you know what? Ryan Johnson tweeted out. He tweeted out one of my favorite tweets is, "What's the story structure for Empire Strikes Back?" And then he replied to his tweet, "Sorry, I thought this was Google search." Which made me laugh because of the Force Awakens comparisons to A New Hope, and how people are thinking that this will be a rehash of Empire Strikes Back. The one thing that I do believe is, much like Empire Strikes Back, the big scene of the film, the Hoth scene, though, will be at the very end of this film, and it's this Crait scene. Andrew, you know something about Crait that I do not know, which is everything that you know about it. I have no idea because I have not read the Leia book yet, or I don't know if that comic's out quite yet, but I haven't read any of that stuff. Can you give us a little bit of input on what Crait is?
Okay.
Sorry, for people that don't know what Crait is, it's at the bottom of the poster. It's that stuff at the bottom of the poster, the red on it.
Yeah.
But for people that watching this that don't know, if you're out there, sorry.
No problem. So slight minor spoilers for that Leia book, Leia, Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray. There's a couple scenes that take place on Crait. And essentially what it was is, back in the day, a couple years before A New Hope, Crait was a potential rebel base. In fact, there was a base there. The rebellion had a base. It was small. It wasn't like Yavin. There wasn't, hundreds of soldiers there, but it was substantial. And Bail Organa visited it many times. And from what we kind of gather going into the future is that this base sort of became defunct once Yavin became a thing, and none of the rebels really chilled out there anymore. It's basically like Dantooine, how we've heard there was something there, but nobody's been there in a while. So if The Last Jedi's scant few information we've gotten on it is to be believed, they will go back to that abandoned base and use it as a new one for the Resistance.
Rob, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's obviously similar when you were mentioning about Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope. At the end of Force Awakens, obviously they know the First Order knows where the base of the Resistance is. So logically, they would have to go somewhere else, right? I'm not saying it has to be a snow-like planet, because then obviously it'll be even more comparable to Empire Strikes Back. But going to a planet like Crait would be a very interesting thing, because I've not read Princess of Alderaan. Luckily, I'm not upset about any spoilers, especially ones that I consider to be minor like that. Please don't comment below saying, "Oh, Andrew, you just spoiled the book because of that." No, not at all. I think it's interesting, and I'm very very much looking forward to seeing the scenes in Last Jedi on Crait.
And you think that we're going to get a new Resistance base on? By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen the Costco Funko Pop exclusive. Slide Akbar here. Have you seen it? It's a 4-pack. You know how Walmart has a 3-pack? Because it's Costco, it obviously has to be a lot bigger, so it's a 4-pack. And there's First Order, and there's Rebels, but the Rebels are the Resistance, which I just thought was, why didn't they just call them the Resistance? Anyway, that's besides the point. Andrew, do you think that there's going to be a new Resistance/Rebels base on Crait, a new old one, that we're going back there? And we're going to be there for 9?
Sorry, I'm still getting over the initial shock that Costco has exclusive Funkos.
I was shocked too, yeah.
Andrew, you're going to get a membership too.
I already got one. Now I just have another reason to go there. I was going to call it Costco. Crait has a lot of screen time in this movie, if we're believing everything we see. I mean, I have not seen, besides some Canto Bight stuff, I have not seen any planet except Crait at all. Oh, and Achto, I forgot about it. But like, Crait is everywhere. They're really ramming it down our throat. I'm more excited for the rumored other planets that we were going to see, like, the rumors that we were going to see Mustafar and Endor or whatever. I still hope that's a thing. I'm more excited for that than I am for Crait. So I'm hoping Crait is like Jakku from the first one, in the sense where all the marketing was about, like, look at this planet, there's more, but just look at this planet for now. and then we got all the cool new ones as a treat, as a surprise. It wasn't given away. They didn't tip their whole hand. I hope that's the case here. Crate's going to be cool, but I hope there's more that they're just letting us wait and see.
Rob, do you think there's a chance that after hearing what Andrew said about everything, and Andrew does not lie, I will say that Andrew does not lie. So what he said from that book, either he misremembered or he's telling the truth on it. Do you think the possibility that the First Order, Snoke all, are the ones that have actually taken over this old rebel base, and that's now their home stretch, and that could be why the final battle that we're assuming, which you should never assume obviously, but do you think that is why we're going there?
I don't know. I think that could be a reason, or the fact that maybe rebels, the resistance does not have an actual base there, but perhaps some type of their equipment is there, or regardless, the First Order equipment is there, or something. Like I'm assuming that there's going to be some type of part, maybe of like the second act. That's what I'm thinking. That could be with this movie, like some type of crucial part there, and then that action leads to that. Like you're comparing it more like Jakku. I'm almost thinking it's more like I forgot the name of the planet for a second. Maz Kanata's planet. I'm almost thinking that that's what this one might kind of be, where like a chunk of the second act takes place on Crait. That's what I'm kind of like maybe thinking at. I don't. It could be possible that the third act is on Crait, but I'm more leaning it to be more like. And anybody help me out? What's the name of Maz Kanata's planet?
Takodana.
From
Takodana.
Yeah,
Takodana.
You've played it in Battlefront too, Rob. I don't know what your problem is. Remember what it is.
Like, we were playing Naboo the whole day today, most of the time, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Is way more fun. I think it's way more fun to play than Takodana because there's more to do in it. I think.
It's because the battle droids, I think, too.
Oh my god, it clones and battle droids and Darth Maul and Rey shows up and Han Solo, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. Andrew, what do you think of the odds of the First Order taking over that rebel base? Is the movie going to end on Crait?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you. I worked on it all day.
Yeah, I think a part of it will end on Crait. I think that this ending we're going to get is very scattered. We're going to get a cliffhanger with whatever Poe's doing, another one with whatever Rey's doing, etc., etc. One of those will be on Crait. So yeah, there will be an ending there.
Oh, so you think it's this ending could be more like Return of the Jedi-ish, where there's multiple fronts of the final battle to a certain extent, like kind of like a Return of the Jedi was outside of the Death Star, inside the Death Star, and on the Force Moon of Endor.
Not necessarily. No, I think I see this movie ending more like Empire, if there were two other bad things that happened besides Han getting frozen. Like we have a Han getting frozen thing, but we also have, oh my God, Rey hit her head really hard and passed out, and oh my God, a Porg is being roasted over a fire. Like that kind of thing. It's gonna end with one of those like 3 shots to the kidney, and then and we're gonna scream and cry and go into stasis till 2019.
By the way, that was our Thanksgiving, right? We had our porgs and we ate them for Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving. That's our turkey that we like.
Exactly.
Or was it just me? Was that?
It was just you. I did not eat porgs. I absolutely love porgs, and I can't wait to see. I want a porg village like I had the Ewok village when I was a kid. I'm gonna just have a great time. I got a porg. My little rabbit's right by my foot right now. He watched the trailer with me. Actually, not a true story. Actually, I sat on the couch to watch the trailer. I called Aaron. Aaron runs out to watch it, and all of a sudden, this little rabbit jumps on the couch. And if you watch Aaron's Instagram video, you can see the rabbit. Huge fan of Star Wars. This rabbit is in every which way. Andrew, what are your final thoughts on this? Well, it won't be final, but what are your final thoughts on the poster overall? Is it because I love the teaser poster. Well, I guess it's one of my favorite. But you were really hoping for Force Awakens. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I gotta, like you said, I'm not gonna lie. I was not crazy about that teaser poster. So I wanted like a real Drew Struzan-esque kind of poster, a traditional Star Wars looking poster. And this even though you're right, I was expecting something closer to Force Awakens. This is exactly what it needs to be, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, if you take all the movie posters of this series and you hang them up on your wall and you get them in a nice plaque at Costco, every one of them is going to have that black outline of space, except this one. And what have we heard about this one? It's going to shake things up. So even the poster is going to stand out from the other ones. So I think that's indicative of what we're in for.
On that thought, do you think 9's going to go back to the traditional poster?
I think it'll be like another color, like dark red or dark green or something.
It's obviously way too early to speculate. That movie from 2 years from now. Yeah, Rob?
Going on what you just mentioned there, James, I hope that if this really is as mind-blowing and amazing as it is and really makes it stand out because of these posters, I hope that episode 9 does not go back to the original way, because that would be kind of like, oh, you gave me this huge and new and amazing things, and now you're going 9 back to the original stuff, and it's like kind of like subliminally telling me it's like maybe this movie won't be as mind-blowing as The Last Jedi was. Again, I'm fast forwarding into the future right now, so I kind of hope that episode 9 moves the boundary as well with these beautiful posters as well. Like it's no surprise, I love this poster. I think it's amazing that they created a poster again with a whole lot of characters that I really like and really enjoy. I mean, we only touched on him a little bit, but I was kind of actually shocked a little bit that maybe Snoke in some type of way didn't factor into the poster at all. So like whether it would be like in a head behind Luke's head at the very top or something like that, or I don't know. But that was one character that was kind of surprised that did not appear on the poster. But again, didn't really need him because it was a great poster regardless.
Yeah, that was something that Andrew and I speculated on, and my feeling was if he has a significant role, Snoke will be on the poster, and now he's not on the poster, and we've seen the trailer, but his role might not be as meaty or significant as I shouldn't say that, but there's a reason why he's not on the poster, and obviously he's not important enough, or he's just not who people will buy into. I guess there's a reason why he's not on the poster. We're going to find out. There's a reason, like Andrew said, Luke Skywalker's not on the Force Awakens poster. There are reasons for people being on posters, especially of these type, of a Harry Potter poster, Lord of the Rings poster. The important characters are there. There's a reason why Snoke is not there. We'll leave it at that for today, though, because we got the trailer conversation yesterday. You can hear all my thoughts on that, Andrew's thoughts on that, Rob's thoughts on that, Brock's hopeful thoughts on that. What's up, Rob?
One quick note to that, I just wanted to bring it up a little bit, and this is a very pixelated version of it, but this is one of the Return of the Jedi posters, and here's the funny thing about that too. I do not see the Emperor on this poster either, so that's the funny thing, that he could still be a very big part of it, but for some reason, I don't know, Star Wars likes to hide one of their big bads from the posters, so I don't know.
I think the one difference though between the Emperor and Snoke at this point in the game is, well, this is my opinion. Andrew, I'll let you have the final thought on this, but my thought on this is, in Return of the Jedi, we didn't know the Emperor yet. He had that one scene in Empire Strikes Back, but he wasn't even the same actor, so we didn't quite know the Emperor. There was nothing, I guess there was nothing really to sell people on the Emperor. People wanted to know what was happening with Luke. I mean, it's kind of a missed opportunity, I would suppose, that you have the Emperor be like, we're finally going to see the Emperor. But anyway, Andrew, your final thought, and then we can wrap this up.
I actually never noticed that, Rob. I'm assuming that the reason they didn't put him on that Return of the Jedi poster was because he's just so good looking it would distract people from what the poster's trying to say. But also, even though we see him pretty early on in the movie, his face under that hood, like his eyes are not revealed until Luke walks in and sees them. So even like when we see him through Vader's eyes, he's still just like a shadow and a mouth. So I think they were trying to preserve the mystery of that and thus leave him off the poster. And I think it's the same kind of thing going on with Snoke. Obviously, we've seen more of Snoke now. That's just the world we live in now. But they still want to preserve that first, shot, that reveal shot of him. And I think that's going to be something special.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the future holds. Is it December yet? No, it is not. I am hoping there is no ice storm this year for the Last Jedi like there was for Rogue One last year. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for chatting on this episode of Unleashed. Everyone else, may the force of others be with you.
Always.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.